Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to my session. I would like to apologize for my language. I'm not mother tongue, as we understand. And today we talk about cloud service providers success story. We adopted the complete stack vSphere with operation management. Okay, a quick talk on what we'll do today. For first, some words about me. I'm Raffaello Poltronieri. I work for cloud service provider, Italian CSP, Cloud Italia Telecomunicazioni. And I'm in the data centers team. I contributed building it, both of them. We have two data centers in 2012 with an architect role. I'm VCP certified, and I own some VCA certifications, and I'll be awarded of vExpert this year. I'll leave a talk on what we will talk today. I will summarize all this. I will present my company, what we do, why we do this, and in which way, and why we choose to adopt vCloud Director, and especially two of the management tool that vSOM gives us, that are VROPS and login sites. And then our business model, and at the end, how these two tools helps us in quality assurance. So, as I told before, Cloud Italia Telecomunicazioni is an Italian service provider that integrates telecommunications and cloud. We are trying to be key partner and a single reference point for our customer. Yep.
Sorry, the previous slide you had in the bottom, you had the CMDB.
Yep.
I was curious to see if, are you going to cover at the end? I'm curious to see how, does it mean that you are integrated it with your, let's say, corporate CMDB?
No, CMDB, content management database, it's a part of quality assurance. So yeah, we're trying to be the only partner or the main partner for our customers, integrating connectivity, telephony, and cloud services. Some numbers, we have 150,000 customers in 7 offices. We are working in 250 people, more or less, inside Cloud Italia. We have 350 partners, because this is our business model, and we'll explain at the end of this session, with 237 point of presence, and last year we had something like 96 million of revenue. One of our points of strength is our network. We are among the very few Italian providers that can integrate with our own network and service provider, and cloud provider, cloud services. So we have 50,000 fiber kilometers of in a network. We have 3,500 radio link. And okay, stop with numbers. This is a quick map of our network in Italy and outside for the world here, Europe. This project has been completed at the beginning of this year. We built a brand new backbone along the peninsula with a current spin-off of Siemens current technology, and very scalable, up to 2.8 terabit per second. Now, this is the second point of strength for our company, and this is the one where I'm directly involved with our data centers. We have 2 data centers, so one in Arezzo in Tuscany, another one in Rome, and we are building the third one in Milano. Okay, the most important thing in this slide is that the two data centers are connected in double link and a double path. The short path, the so-called short lambda, has a 3 milliseconds of latency with 20 gigs of band, and the other one, the long lambda, has 5 or 6 milliseconds of latency. So going a little bit deeper in data center, the technologies that we used in our company are among the most innovative ones. They are used to call next generation data centers, since we used Cisco for computing, mostly Cisco for networking together with Coriant, and Rubrik for backup, and Team3 for as a storage software storage definition. And well, together with this, we have storage like EMC and NetApp as a traditional storage. Now, going deeply in the real topic of this session, we decided to use the whole cloud stack of VMware, because we decided and we analyzed the market at the beginning when we were projecting our data centers, either physically and in this case virtually, because we considered VMware as complete and reliable. Upon the first layer, the infrastructure layer based on, as previously seen, Cisco, Team3, and NetApp, all these racked inside of hot cold ASL managed by Emerson for air conditioning and power supply. We installed the first layer, the first software layer, virtual layer, based on vSphere. vSphere with vCenter that is managing the ESXi installation. We are using auto-deploy, because with auto-deploy we can manage our UCS blades that are diskless. So that for anybody shouldn't know what is auto-deploy, auto-deploy is manages the installations of ESXi, taking the image of ESXi from storage and injecting it in the RAM of the blades. So all that blades are doesn't have identity until they boot, so that we can interchange them, replace them, and so on. We'll see this after, even as a tool with a UCS manager. Then layer upper, it's cloud, the cloud layer. So in this layer, we decided to use vCloud Director, and with no customization, and I will show you why in the next slides, with vCloud Connector to allow our customers that had already had vSphere installation on site, on premise, to connect with our cloud. And then beside this, the network VCNS, without networking and security, that is going to be, it's in progress, an upgrade to NSX, mostly because the VCNS is going to be out of support on the middle of September. And with this solution, we have been the first one in Italy to give the real keys of our data centers to customers. As you listened before in the general session, today in Cloud Italia, customer can manage the whole packet of resources, not only CPU, not only RAM, storage, but even its own network. So they can destroy, create, move network things. And again, we are the first one that we did in Italy. Then, beside this, there is the let's say management pack. So this pack includes API. Well, API, we didn't deploy API, of course, but we give the customers the free access to automate every kind of operation they can do on their organizations, and even internally we are using API to automate some operations. And changeback. It's useful for us to be integrated with our billing processes, so that customer receive everything he has used, and he pays for, very in a clear mode what is going to pay. But even internally, it's been very useful to understand which department is using how many resources of our data center. So for kind of cost analysis. And well, after this, the two tools that we will talk deeper, VROPS, formerly VCOPS, we upgraded it as soon as it was available, and login sites. So about our data center, the decision to have a data center in a convergent way instead of a hyper-convergent infrastructure was due to our role of cloud service provider. And I'm not telling now today that one is better than another one, of course. No, it's not. I can say that for us, and coming from our analysis, the convergent way was the best solution for us, because we saw that our customers asked us and are asking us much more computational resources, CPU and RAM, and less computational resources than storage. So we have, for example, customer asking for 10 vCPU, 40 gigs of RAM, and 20 tera of storage. And this is for every customer. So we cannot make an average that we don't have any customer that is asking us for tons of computationals and a little bit storage. So the growth of these resources are not parallel. So we have to decide on what to install in our data center. We decided for UCS that it's quite scalable. Through UCS Manager, we can add simply another chassis or even other blades when needed. And on the other side, TIN3 as a software-defined storage, it's so simply to upgrade, to install a new one. And honestly, when we receive a TIN3 and we rack it, and to be completely available, it takes from 45-60 minutes. And well, this is the reason why we decided to use a converged solution. So about these resources, well, as I told before, UCS are diskless. So we manage them in a physical way using UCS Manager. UCS Manager, thanks to service images, allows us to move the blades from, let's say, chassis 1, blade 1, to chassis 2, blade 3, and keeping the same identity of the first one, of the main one. From a virtual way, from a virtual view, this is possible through auto-deploy, as I explained to you before, so that we can switch, as before, we can switch from a virtual point of view the blades from one to another one, and even with vSphere. TIN3, we decided to use the TIN3 for storage, as I told, as a main storage, because it was the same one, the same simplicity to upgrade and to manage through storage policies. We could add a new one, add it to the storage policies that we needed one, and indirectly it was available on the Cloud Director with the same storage policies. And for last one, networking, and let's say so upgrading to NSX. Again, adopting VXLAN, it was possible to allow our customers to manage their own networking. So why we choose to not to customize the cloud director? We are not putting in front any kind of interface between customer and the cloud director. We did this so because we built our data centers in, we're talking something like 10 million euros in 3 months, included projecting, included testing, and it was available after 3 months, so we cannot afford more time to go to the market. More than this, the cloud director gave us everything we needed and even more. And especially, the most important thing that drove us to choose the cloud director is that it was completely VMware supported. For us, as a cloud service provider, we cannot afford even 1 minute of down of problems. If we created an interface in the middle, we had to develop, test bugs, we had to build a KB, and so on. But we cannot afford this. So this is directed to medium-large enterprise. During the month, we saw that another market was available, was affordable, and it was the private and little offices one. So in this case, we decided to create an interface just for simplicity, for not IT people, so that the private that wanted to develop kind of for home uses, the offices that just needed a couple of servers and with no particular needs and with no particular networking complexity, they could go to Express Cloud, and in this case we are selling packages to be paid by credit card. And anyway, this one too is based on the Cloud Director, but it's not seen by the customer. So what's going on when you deploy a data center and you don't have any kind of monitoring system, of analyzing system for your resources? Well, you start for a couple of customers. These couple of customers seeing that well, the cloud is going well, it's performing well. They are talking to other people. Yes, it's going good. I can try to put on the cloud even our applications that usually I run in home because they are heavy, because they are critical, and so on. And so again, and so what happens that at the end you finish your resources. And this is incredible bad, because you cannot say customer coming that I'm sorry, we are full, we cannot take you aboard. Of course not. So the result is that you have to go to the market immediately, find the first vendor you find, whichever the price it is, and you have to buy resources, and maybe that resource is not the same quality of the first one. So this is the first place, the first situation where that two tools, especially VROPS, was useful for us, for our investment. In this case, so we could be awareness of the resources that were going low, so kind of forecast. And another situation that could help us in this is to take the resources that were wasted. In that case, maybe one or even more than one I can say almost all the customers at the beginning asks for resources that are too much for the servers, that the applications that they use. So as we'll see after, that we go advising that customer that for first you are paying too much, but we are not sent. So just because we can get can get back resources and take aboard new customers together with analysis of the market to have a new resources. So this is the tool that I was talking about. So this is the first image, the first page that you see when access to VROPs, virtualized operations. And it has 3 measure badges. They are called measure badges. So the first one is the health. With health, you can have an image, immediate image of what is happening now in your data center. Any issue, any immediate issue is shown here. And in this case, it's green. It can be yellow for warning and red. For any issue should occur here, you can see even recommendations to solve that issue. And in this case, you can even have listed any fault, any hardware faults. In my opinion, this badge should never get red, except for faults because they are unpredictable. It should never get red just because you have the other 2 ones. And the other 2, the risk, for example, is that through analysis of tons or metrics, the system tells you what will happen or what probably will happen. And well, this was our lifesaver for investments, for future investments. And then there is efficiency. Efficiencies can give you the possibility to reclaim back the resources that are wasted. Customer, as I told, can can buy too much resources and oversize a virtual machine or even the whole virtual data center. And well, this badge shows us where these resources are put. So then, more than this, every major badge has several minor badges. Well, 3 minor badges for everyone. So health has the 3 minor badges that are workload, are anomalies, and anomalies are workload. It talk by itself. Anomalies are the values that are out or average, and then faults that are the hardware ones. And for risk you have the first 2 ones are similar, but are not the same. The first one, capacity remaining, explains what the quantity of resources you still have in your data center. And the second one is the time that you have before that resource will finish. And then the stress is the same one as workload, but during the time, so you have a trend. The last one, efficiency. The minor badges related to efficiencies are reclaimable capacity, so that, as I told before, you can see how much capacity is wasted, density, and compliance. Compliance is very useful for quality assurance, as we will see at the end. Before. Well, now just starting with an example of that time remaining. This is a true slide, a true image, a screenshot. They are not built because, as I told before, we are trying to explain why I'm doing this session. So in this case, we had the system telling us that we would finish our computational resource within 90 days, or more of 90 days. So we had the whole time to go a kickstart to the research on the market. So sitting down on the table, asking for vendors who gave us the best price. We got the best price to have the same resource, the same quality resource that we already have in data center. The second one is an example of how we could be advisors for our customers. This example is a step before. Our offers on the market are adaptive and easy. Adaptive is we offer some fixed resources for a fixed amount, a fee, monthly fee to be paid by a customer. And there is a threshold. Over the threshold, customer can go within a certain percentage, but in that case, the resources are more expensive, of course. And easy is pure pay-as-you-go. This is an example of adaptive customer. So this is a a month graphics. And we saw that in 30 days that customers was using half of the CPU and it was using more or less half of the RAM. So we called the customer telling him, wait, you are paying too much. Yeah, it seems silly, but we gain two goals. For first, that's for an image, because we get his trust. And for second, from a more technical point of view, we get back half of the resources to be used for other customers. It could even happen the opposite, when a customer, adaptive customer, has an agreement for us. He pays for fees for too few resources, so that it goes every month over this threshold, and he's chronically paying much more. In that case, even we call that customer, asking him to review that fee and to have adequate resources. And even in this case, apart that trust and the image of the company, it was useful for our text, because the percentage over the threshold that customer use is a variable that it's hard to predict. So it's more simple for us to have a forecast on what's going on. Now, usually an oversize of the virtual machine depends on conversion, physical to virtual, one-to-one. A customer that owns a physical server, let's say a double Xeon 4 cores, asks us for 8 vCPU, and well, it's very much, and it never uses this because of the optimization. Same for RAM. Now, where the other tool, login sites, could help for root causes, to find the root causes of a problem. Another example, this is the image that you can see when accessing login sites. Accessing it, we daily have a random look on login sites, and in that period we saw that there were a number of consolidation anomalies on a customer's virtual machine. So we decided to create a custom alert. This is possible, highlighting that string, and with that let's say bell up in the right, you can choose to create a custom alert that will send you or your team an alert every time that a log presents that string. And after this, you can open this alert on a more, let's say, human point of view. So opening this alert on VROPS. In this case, we opened the VROPS on that log, and we saw nothing. The virtual machine was healthy, no risk, no efficiency was okay. So we had quick look on the market. We called support and realized that the error that login site was showing was due to backup problem on the virtual machine, on the customer virtual machine, because he didn't enable VSS on a Windows machine. It was a SQL server. And so we called him and asking, okay, enable this because you have an error. Yes, it's true. I have an error. I cannot back up this machine. Well, this made us, again, give the customer a good advice and have a better relationship with him. So this is a case where login site writes an alert and VROPS can verify or confirm or not that alert. The opposite is true. So in the opposite, we can start from login sites. Login sites has content packs. Content packs are some kind of content that take logs related to specific virtual applications. In this case, it's vCloud Director. You can even not use the content packs. You get the same thing, the logs, but they are better organized in case of the presence of content pack. So, well, the difference between login site and VROPS is that login site take the logs, consolidate them, and they are available for monitoring purposes, for audit purposes. VROPS instead collect metrics. So it gives your advices, recommendations, and it takes for these recommendations and analysis the lines of logs of login sites. Let's say that VROPS is a kind of upper layer of login site. Let's call this is intelligence, artificial intelligence that is over login site. So when an alert is showing from VROPS, so this is the opposite case of before, you can see an alert and you could take note of the date, of the time, of the place, and you can drag deeper in login site to see where the problem, the real problem is. Now, again, another example of cloud service providers as an advisor for a customer. We saw that even in this case, this is another view of VROPS. With you can see the badge here was the efficiency badge. It was orange, so the middle between yellow and red, and below you can see there is a visual summarizing of the virtual machines, and we picked up the one that was in orange, and we realized that one wasn't optimized. Okay, and it was using a few resources. So again, we called that customer and we made a new agreement, a new fee. Then, in other case where we were able to advise customer, it was again login site. This kind of log, the very same log happened for 100 times. So it was very recurrent, and for the same virtual machine. So with the ID of the virtual machine, we get which that virtual machine was, and the customer. So asking the customer, well, the issue in this case was memory admission, check admission. So the customer had too few RAM in his organization to run all the virtual machine. But it didn't call us because the error that he gets was random. Was random because it depended on how many machines it turned on, and it wasn't related to one specific virtual machine because if he had half of the virtual machine turned off, he didn't get the error. If he had every one of them turned on, he got the error. So we just contacted him, offering a solution and offering a memory upgrade, and he was grateful. Thanks. So what are we going to do now? Talking of our kind of business, where we cannot compare with other big competitors like Google, like AWS, like Amazon, Azure. Of course, we are not so big, so we choose to be tailored. Let's say that we make tailored suits to our customers. So how do we this? We offer extra thresholds, for example. We don't give customers a package. So if, for example, there's a customer that is, let's say, a accounting office, so that they need double of computational capacity at the end of the month because of counts and so on. Well, in that case, we can manage this variable. We can give the customer the possibility to have a real network, I'm not talking now on VXLAN, but I'm talking of MPLS or VLAN, because thanks to our role of network plus cloud services. Then, for example, vShield Manager offers the possibility to have 4 dimensions of vShield. vCloud Director only offers 2. So in particular cases, we had some customers that had a very high traffic, network traffic, that asked us, well, the second, let's say the second size of the vShield that I have on vCloud Director is not enough. What should I do? Another one? And no, we changed this variable directly on vShield Manager. And more than this, a couple of helps that we give directly to the customer, for example, and help to connect, so to make a hybrid cloud for customers that have virtualization on-premise, but they are not so skilled to use a connector, and customers that doesn't have a good line, so that they cannot upload because they will take weeks, and so we do this for them too. So as I told before, we are not selling packages because because we used to talk to the customer one by one. So our representative, our account manager, call or go on site to the customer, so they feel important. They are important for us, of course. A few words about our model. I told that at the beginning that we have partner models. So we choose this way because a high percentage of our customers come from our partners. The partners are the ones that had business with them, with that customers, because they were the one that sold hardware, that built physically the networks. So to have the customers was more simple because they trust the partner, and indirectly, so we have the same trust that the partner has with this customer. Then, okay, several, 3 kind, but it's not important. I'm going to finish. So the quality assurance use of these tools. VROPS. VROPS has a badge, a minor badge that I showed you before. This is compliance. With compliance, we can have in real time the rules of the quality assurance respected. And for rules to be set, for example, the company policies that everyone must have only Windows 10 installed. For every customer that changed this operating system, that badge became red or orange, depending on how many employees do this, so that we can be we have a compliance for the whole year. And at the end, the CMDB, the content management database, I was in charge, thanks God, to fill up that database. Well, usually it took months to take every single object or data center and insert it in that database. In this case, I just had this screen to fill up that database. Well, that's all. I hope that despite my language, I can have you explain what we do with these tools. For any questions, I think that should be any microphone. Okay. Yep.
Alexander, Kaspersky Lab. I would like to ask you, do you provide some kind of front end or monitoring or control tool for your customers? For example, you mentioned the badges in VROps. What is the process of communicating this information with the customers? You monitor it by your own system administrators and provide it to the customer by request, or they have something?
No, yeah, this is way. VROP is not multi-tenant, so the cloud director has a multi-tenant role. That monitoring is for our team, so that in some cases, for example, after that problem that we had with check admission of RAM, so in that case, we realized a kind of check to be sent to our monitoring system that is available to customer. But this was a case. Let's say cases, recurrent cases, recurrent cases. We made this available, but indirectly. So customers doesn't have access to that tool. Just because it's not multi-tenant, we should give thousands of accounts around. Okay, if this is all, there's if you have the app downloaded for VMworld, there's a survey. If you liked me, thank you. If you didn't, the same thank you, so that it's useful for me, the survey for either cases, positive or negative. Thank you.